Unlike other genres, action movies don't need to be filled with nuanced performances or a watertight plot. If anything, those things just get in the way of the face punching. All a good action movie needs is a sky-high bullet budget, some flippy kicks, and kerosene burning through its veins from start to finish. Fortunately, Netflix has jammed full of underrated action movies. If you'd rather see bruised chins than Oscar wins, this movie roundup will be right up your alley. Skin Trade. Dolph Lundgren, Ron Perlman, Michael Jai White, and Tony Jaa sounds like a dream action movie cast if we've ever seen one, and Skin Trade delivers on that promise in spades. Granted, the plot is pretty flimsy. It's basically cops and robbers in Thailand, but the thrill of seeing these action legends all in one place doesn't wear off. Lundgren manages to keep up with the much younger and more agile Jaa in some wild action scenes, and Jai White is, as always, a magnetic on-screen talent. Come for the talent lineup, stay for the insanity and fistfights. Savage Dog. Scott Adkins is pretty much the undisputed king of direct-to-DVD action movies these days, and Savage Dog is an impressive entry in his filmography. We rarely get to see Adkins in a period piece, and even though he mostly just beats people up, he gets to do it in different costumes this time. But beyond the unusual setting, Savage Dog is still something special. The movie opens with Adkins' character digging his way out of a shallow grave, which is the only way to start a movie like this. The film then goes back in time, catching us up to the moment of his burial, and then sending him on a brutal path of revenge featuring some stunning fight sequences. Adkins' filmography is littered with cool action hits, but Savage Dog is a clear high point. Bullet to the Head. Released in 2013, Bullet to the Head comes from Walter Hill, director of the 1979 cult classic The Warriors. It's pure grindhouse fun, which is exactly what a Walter Hill action flick starring Sylvester Stallone should be. Bullets fly, bodies drop, and cars are blown to bits over the course of the movie. It's a great time, solidified by Jason Momoa's role as the film's villain. You don't want to miss it. Boyka Undisputed. Scott Adkins headlines the later installments of the Undisputed series as Yuri Boyka, a prison inmate who participates in a brutal underground fighting ring. Boyka Undisputed sees Boyka released from prison and fighting professionally, but the fight scenes are just as stylish and brutal as any that came before this in the series. 4 movies in, Undisputed is as fun as it's ever been. Bring on the next one. Small Soldiers. Children of the 90s are likely to remember the toys that spawned from director Joe Dante's Small Soldiers, along with the crushing disappointment that they didn't actually come to life and tried to blow up your house.
Let me see that weapon. Standard issue is insufficient.
The film itself is something of a forgotten gem, one that's definitely made for a younger audience, but an action movie is an action movie, and this one is actually a lot of fun. Small Soldiers is weird, campy, and features action figures going to war with each other, which for most kids was the best toy-based combat outside of Toy Commander for the Sega Dreamcast. Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. In a just world, Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow would have been a box office smash and ushered in a new era of elegant, stylistic action cinema. Drawing heavily from pulp cinema and comic books, Sky Captain is a wild romp through a steampunk reimagining of a pre-World War II world. The titular Sky Captain is a charismatic ace pilot who leads the Daredevil Flying Legion. Played by Jude Law, he's joined by reporter Polly Perkins and a brief appearance by Angelina Jolie as the eye-patched Royal Naval officer Frankie Cook. It's a great cast heading up a fun, visually inventive action film that deserves a far larger fan following than it has today. Officer Down. Want to watch the craziest movie on Netflix? Officer Down has you covered. Adapted from the comic by writer Joe Casey and artist Chris Burnham, there shouldn't be a way to translate this insanity from page to screen, and yet the film manages to pull it off. Starring Kim Coates of Sons of Anarchy fame, it's a hyperkinetic neon thrill ride that plays out like Judge Dredd in a fever dream. This movie has everything: nuns with guns, an immortal super cop, and a hidden government conspiracy. What more could you ask for? Fighting. It's kind of hard to remember the days when Channing Tatum wasn't a megastar, but back before Magic Mike and 21 Jump Street, Tatum appeared in this little scene gem. Tatum plays the tough-as-nails Sean, a hustler who discovers he's a prodigy as a street fighter. The fight scenes are brutal, no-holds-barred affairs that translate the intensity of street fighting to the screen very well. Fighting was never going to win any Oscars, but it's a very interesting and often overlooked entry in a talented actor's career. Death Sentence. Modern horror master James Wan of Saw, Insidious, and The Conjuring fame took a brief hiatus from the genre in 2007 with Death Sentence, a Kevin Bacon vehicle that follows the tried and true narrative of a regular man out for revenge. When his son is stabbed in a gang initiation ritual, Bacon's Nick Hume decides to take the law into his own hands, waging a one-man war on crime in his city. It's nothing action fans haven't seen before, but you haven't seen this kind of film directed by a whiz like James Wan, or with an actor so effortlessly good as Kevin Bacon. Bacon channels Nick's relentless drive, grief, and rage in stunning, understated fashion. Throw in John Goodman as the film's villain and you've got yourself a good time. It may be familiar action movie territory, but sometimes that just means it's worth the journey. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.